Hey guys, I am Haley Gray and I'm the group owner here in the Women's Entrepreneur Network. And I'm actually trying out a new lip gloss tonight. This is Iconic Red by Mary Kay. So let me know what you think. I'm going to do a quick card pull because we're going to talk tonight about some really simple ways to increase your social media engagement. If you're on the live, give me a hashtag live. If you're on the replay, give me a hashtag replay and let me know that you are out there. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day, humpity, humpity, humpity hump. And funny story today, my dog is having some issues with some neurological issues and some pain. We went to go get her some pain meds and the outside of the bottle said, don't operate machinery or drive while taking this medication. I'm really glad that I learned to not allow my dog to drive while she's taking tramadol. So y'all don't let your dogs medicate and drive. So tonight's card is I don't have to fear my fear. I can use it as a way to get closer to love. How fun is that? Hey, Patty, how are you? Hey, Meg, how are you? So tonight's is going to Facebook Live is hopefully going to be a bit interactive. And if you guys will cheer me on and talk with me, I would very much appreciate it. The more you chatter, the longer I'm going to go and the more valuable information I am going to give you. So one of the things I hear from people is that they are really, really struggling with getting engagement on their social media. So let's talk Facebook algorithms here just a little bit, okay? So let's pretend for a minute that we understand that Facebook is run by a computer algorithm. So a computer algorithm is the computer decides, hey Beth, good to see you, what you're going to see based on who you engage with and who engages with you. So there's a lot of math that goes into it. And this is why some of the political stuff got really heated, is because if you engage with a political post over here, Facebook is going to decide that you like those kinds of topics, and it's going to show you more of those kinds of posts. So one of the things that Facebook does, it's, yes, twice in one night. It's good to see you too. Facebook is going to assume, no, today's the first night, first time tonight. I did it last night twice. So Facebook is going to assume that whatever you engage with, you want to see more of. And the people you engage with are the people who should see your stuff, and they should see more of your stuff. So there's this kind of crazy thing going on with the Facebook algorithms that, you know, Facebook is trying to guess and tell you what you want to see more of. There's also some things that go on with the Facebook algorithms that the more engagement a post gets, the more it's going to get. So if you put up a post and it gets 10 comments in the first hour, give or take, it's going to get shown to a lot more people because Facebook tests the post to see, is this post interesting to people? And if it's interesting, it's going to go and show that post to more people. So really, you have a challenge. Oh, it's the second time you've seen Beth tonight. Woohoo! Hey, Beth. It is challenging because you need to get comments on your posts so that likes, comments, and shares on your posts in order to get that post seen by more people. Now, it's a challenge, right? Because how do you get people to interact with you if you've never interacted with them? So let's understand. You need to get a certain number of reactions. You need to get a certain number of interactions on your posts as quickly as possible, preferably in the first hour or so after you post. That means if somebody comments, you wait for a little bit of time and then you respond back so that you're getting these posts going back and forth on your post, right? So that you're getting these comments happening on your post. So you're giving it a little bit of juice. If you get a bunch of comments, so what you do is you wait 24 hours, you give them hearts because thumbs ups don't really count as interactions on Facebook anymore. You give them another emoji, you give them another reaction, and then that bumps your post up some more. And then what you do is you wait a little while and then you go through and you comment and you respond to people who have commented on your post. So you want to make sure that you are leveraging the Facebook algorithms. Now, if you're not getting people naturally commenting on your posts, there's some things you can do. One of the things I want to make sure that you're doing is commenting on other people's posts. Go through your feed, go through your Facebook groups, and make a point of commenting on other people's posts. Not just one or two words, but give them a full sentence here and there. And the people that you want to have see your stuff are going to be much more likely to see your stuff if you're engaging on their stuff as well. So go through, find the people who you want to start seeing your stuff and go engage on their posts. Go find their Facebook profile, go comment on their stuff, go be social, go be a social butterfly, y'all. Anybody ever feel like they've been overly social? Because, people come onto social media to be social, not necessarily to be sold to, right? And one of the other tricks you can use is you can actually engage with people who like your page as your page. So you can go find people and engage with them or engage with their public posts if they've tagged you in them and done that kind of thing. So you can actually engage as your business page with other people. But let's say that you're not trying to engage as your page. You're just trying to get your page or your personal profile more visibility or your post in a Facebook group more visibility. So this is a really good question. So how do I feel about responding via a GIF or an avatar or something like that? I think that it offers some value because it's a reaction on a post. I think that people can GIF too much sometimes, but I think that, you have got to post content on their stuff in order to get them to, so a GIF is fine every once in a while. I don't know that I would do it every single time. Use our words, mind our P's and Q's, but get it out there and, get it seen. So absolutely. And hello, Jennifer, and hello, Pat. So this is an interactive presentation, right? So when we talk about getting engagement, so you've got to interact with them in order to get them to interact with you. That's kind of one of the key things that you have to understand about Facebook. Now, the other thing that y'all need to think about is, hey, Jennifer, when you put up posts, you have to understand that humans are very, very visual creatures. This is why GIFs and avatars work so well. So one of the things is, realize that your posts, if you are putting up posts, that you should use the Facebook pretty graphic backgrounds, or you should put up an actual graphic or a picture. People love human faces. They love your face. They like to interact with you. Having some good pictures of yourself is worth its weight in gold. Using posts, pictures of yourself to engage with stuff is huge. So how do you do it? Well, create posts, create graphics in Canva. Use your cell phone to take selfies of yourself. Mind your lighting, mind your makeup, do those and post those pictures of yourself. Take pictures of your environment. I had a little cardinal who came in and visited me today, and people got really excited by that, right? Because it's kind of fun to see, fun things and be fun and different and interesting. The next thing too is when we're trying to get more engagement on social media, one of the things that I think we sometimes forget is that we have to be super real. Okay, y'all, I share lots of stories about my life, good and bad. The story about, the dog should probably not be driving a car while she's taking tramadol. I just thought that was the most hilarious thing yet today. But you don't want to be too woe is me, right? You want to be upbeat. You want to be interesting. You want to be kind of cool. And, it's important that we, really come across as a real person. We're not too perfect. We're not too not perfect, right? Share your life, be real, but don't whine about it. I don't whine about my daughter's situation. I explain it, but I don't expect you to feel sorry for me about my daughter's situation with her psychiatric issues. It's just a statement of this is how the world is. I'm just sharing the story. I want to educate you. I want you to know that I've also been there too, but I'm not highly perfect, right? So be real. Your graphics do not have to do anything to be perfect. You show up as you. Show up as very you. So the other thing to get more engagement on your social media is just be very much you. So one of the things that Meg and I will do is we will share stuff back and forth. And thank you, Pat. And that was a really cool event with the Cardinal, right? And it doesn't do anything for you. Yeah, different meds, different people, right? Different dogs. So, show up, be real, and, share stuff with people. Make it visually appealing. Canva is your friend. So make sure that you're sharing and you're being real. And then you're also commenting on other people's posts. The other thing to be aware of is that humans are kind of naturally conditioned at this point to ignore everything that's an ad. Y'all, do you kind of notice how well you ignore ads? I mean, does anybody else notice how well we just completely ignores anything that's an ad? And it's an interesting thing because I had somebody who asked me to put up a promo post here in the group, and I did as a sponsored post. And she was shocked at how fast that post dropped to the bottom of the group, right? Because we as humans are conditioned to run away from anything that we perceive as an ad. So just be aware that, when your posts come across as ads, they're going to drop in engagement, and things that are not as addy are going to increase in engagement. And, remember that perfectionism is the enemy of the good. So Kelly, I agree with you. It is difficult when you think you're putting up the right things and one person responds. So I will actually go back to the beginning here in the Women's Entrepreneur Network. I really, really struggled with engagement. I struggled with getting anybody to respond to anything I did. It was like I was playing to a room full of freaking crickets. Seriously. One of the things I did challenges. I did webinars. I put up all these well thought out quotes. I did all of the things. I stood on my head. I clicked my heels. And in one day, I got really, really pissed. And I'll be honest, I got hella pissed because I was putting all this content out there. Nobody was buying. Nobody was engaging. Nobody was doing jack beans worth a hill of things. So what happened was that I posted a question in the group, and I said, what is your favorite flavor of ice cream? And I got 114 responses. Y'all, it was bananas. Seriously, the most banana thing ever, right? And it is so frustrating. And you're experiencing that now, right? So one of the things that I started to learn is that people like to talk about themselves. They like to be entertained. So if you're trying to increase your engagement, get people to talk about themselves. Entertain people. One of the things that we do here in the Women's Entrepreneur Network is that we provide an edutainment experience, right? You'll notice that we put a ton of content in here, but it's also kind of entertaining. Beth, you remember that question? Everybody loves ice cream, right? I did another one, toilet paper over or under. Another gajillion responses. And I learned that people like superficial, funny things. They don't like necessarily talking about the hard stuff. People like to talk about their businesses. They like to be asked for information. So one of the things I think people early on thought that I didn't really know what I was doing, I would ask them, hey, who do you recommend as a ... And people would message me thinking I was looking to hire somebody who did ... whatever that was. And really what I was trying to do is get people to talk about, you know, being a plumber, being a realtor, being a whatever, or being a certain type of coach. And, you know, you really start to understand that people want to talk about themselves. So, you know, you ask for everybody where they're from, right? So, Kelly, one of the things, yeah, sometimes it's the silly things that bother you. So one of the things that I have done, and y'all will probably notice that I have done it here in the Women's Entrepreneur Network, is that I have pivoted a bit, right? I don't put as much on the silly stuff, but I ask people their opinions. I ask people to describe their businesses like they're describing it to a second grader. I do business-related exercises and questions like define success. What does success mean to you? One of my favorite questions is now, what is your superpower? Because it's amazing what asking people what their superpower will show in terms of, hey, this is something really kind of cool. And it gets a lot of engagement. So, you know, understand that people are likely to respond to questions about themselves. Now, understand people also react to things that are heartwarming, or they invoke a response. They evoke a response. You know, think about, you know, paying it forward. So, you know, think about what people want to see and put more of that in there. And now I have business questions sprinkled throughout all of my questions in the group. The more I do that, the more responses I get. It's really an amazing kind of situation. You know, Jennifer, your group is called Journey to Healing. Maybe they don't want to put their stuff in your group. So yes and no. So you have to set the parameters on what the conversations are. You have to put information into the group. You have to build trust. When people are talking about really difficult topics, you have to build a very safe environment. You have to make it very clear what you're talking about, what the topics of conversation are about. I am in a couple of groups for family members of loved ones with schizophrenia or parents of children with schizophrenia. My oldest daughter has schizophrenia. And the stories that people tell in those groups are absolutely heartbreaking. And trust me, it shows me just how lucky I have been in managing my daughter's care, because her case is both bad enough and I've been hard-headed enough and lucky enough to hit the right resources along the way. I'm in various bariatric surgery support groups. So if you have a clear topic of conversation, people know what they're supposed to talk about. So explain what Journey to Healing is, right? What is the Journey to Healing? And I know that like your group is, or you're working with people in transition. So, you know, maybe you change the name of your group to Journey Through Transition, Job Transition, Life Transition, right? And you change it to be slightly different so people know what you're talking about. And you make the group very, very topically oriented, and you set yourself as the expert talking about that set of transitions. And this is part of the reason that it's so important to really focus in on a particular niche. I have a friend who runs a bariatric mindset group, and it's for people who are having weight loss surgery or who have had weight loss surgery, and all of the mindset changes that have to happen as a result of that bariatric surgery. So when we think about it, you know, you want to create a very specific environment that people know what they're talking about it in the group. So Women's Entrepreneur Network is about women who are entrepreneurs, and a few smart men, right? We know what we're going to get when we get in the group. And this is one of the challenges, right? There are a few people in your group that will share with you via DM one-on-one, but they won't share in the group, right? It takes time and consistency of posting in the group to do that. I can promise you, Jennifer, that if you were to start posting daily in the group or 2 or 3 times a day, and really making it like a super like hardcore nurturing environment, like super, super, super like crazy nurturing, people would start to engage more with the conversations. One of the things that I had to do in my Build Your Tribe challenge is sit down and create a bajillion and 23 graphics and get them scheduled to appear in the group and share those in the group so people would start having more conversations about building Facebook groups. You will do better if you are posting every single day, 2 or 3 times a day even, and then increase that over time and getting people starting about conversations. And if they DM you, encourage them to share it in the group or let them know that you are available for a conversation. Yes, I jokingly say that Women's Entrepreneur Network is 95% women and a few smart men. Dumb ones need not apply. Yeah. This is another thing too. It takes time to build that trust factor. The faster your group starts to grow, the faster it will start to have people having conversations in it. My group did not start getting a lot of engagement until somewhere between the 500 to 800 people in it range was when I started asking all of the loopy questions. If you want to speed up the people having conversations staying in your group faster, you start asking tons of questions and schedule them going into the group, and it will boost your engagement dramatically. But you have to have those conversation starters, like create 50 or 75 conversation starters and use those to get your group going. Yeah. And the more you put in those thought-provoking questions in your group, the more engagement you're going to have. And the entertainment type questions are also helpful. And also make sure that you're responding to people when they're commenting on things in your group. One of the things we sometimes forget is that you need to have like a real conversation with people in threads. So the more comments that you have in threads, the more responses you have in threads, the better the engagement is, the better it goes back and forth. So one of the things I find particularly challenging, because I'm managing multiple groups and I'm managing my business and I do coaching and I do digital marketing, is I'm like scattered all over the place. It's really hard for me to respond to people's comments all the time. So one of the things I've had to do is schedule time to go through and comment on people's comments. And that is super incredibly powerful. It's really hard to do, to be consistent about it. But when you schedule posts to go into your group and then you comment back on people's comments and you support them as they're responding to things, you're likely to get more engagement in the group. The more engagement you have in the group, the more people are going to join your group, the more people are going to do stuff. Then you need to have a call to action, which is to get on a call with you so that you can sell them your services. That is how we do with the Build Your Tribe Challenge. That's how we talk about doing things in the mastermind. So one of the things I do, Jennifer is in the mastermind, Beth is in the mastermind, and I'm only talking about it because you guys have mentioned it. We talk about using social selling and these techniques to grow your business. The other thing that we have not talked about tonight that is incredibly powerful, that will get you a lot more engagement, both on your page, it will get you engagement coming back to you, and it will generate clients, is using other people's groups. So I call it OPG, the famous OPG. One of the things that we tend to forget sometimes is that we are building our own Facebook groups, but other people are also building really amazing complementary Facebook groups. And we can partner with those people or not. You know, we can choose the extent of the partnership. Go into those groups and post valuable content in those groups and get conversations started in those groups so people start to recognize you. One of the things I have done is I will post graphics and memes and information in other groups that are absolutely not promotional at all. And people will be like, oh my gosh, I see you everywhere. And it's like, yeah, you know, I stop in, I spend 5 or 10 minutes, I drop off a post that's cute, it's pretty, it's you know, branded with, you know, it's watermarked with my logo on it. And I just move on and I have some comments. I leave some comments for people. I do this a couple of times a week. Is it a huge amount of work? No, it takes me less than 30 minutes to do this. What's really cool is people start to go, oh my gosh, I see you everywhere. And the cool thing is the more that people see you everywhere because you're posting in other people's groups, you're commenting on posts in other people's groups, you are doing those things, people come back and they start to find you. They want to know what you do. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little tip. Your personal profile on Facebook should never list you as self-employed. It should always link back to your business page. This is a super important thing. If your personal profile does not link back to your business page, you need to update your profile immediately. I can't tell you how many times I have met somebody in an entrepreneur group or in a BNI or somewhere, and I go and I try to find them and I'm trying to figure out what it is that they do. And they were such an intriguing person and I wanted to book a call with them or I wanted to learn more about what they did. And, you know, it's almost impossible. It's like a hand in the face because they say self-employed and you're like, great, I can't stalk you and figure out what the heck it is that you do. And I was going to hire you. So make sure that your personal profile, your place of employment, lists your business page as your place of employment. Yes. Oh, I held out on you. Oh, come on, Beth. There's so much, you know, one of the things is people assume that, you know, like I'm sharing like all of my tips all of the time. You know, it's impossible for me to convey all of this information to you without like, you know, it all at once. And it's going to hit you as a different time. So yeah, you do post in other people's groups, right? So you post non-promotional, post beautiful graphics in other people's groups. Don't try to promote your videos. Don't post videos, just post content. Graphics are better than long form content, I think, in a lot of times, or if you have long form content, there always needs to be a graphic attached to it. So, you know, start people off and give them a chance to really engage with you and a really good chance to really like lock and load and see how they can possibly work with you. But when you do that, you start spreading the fun. So one of the things, you know, Beth is going to start probably doing is you're going to start seeing Made You Smile Back everywhere, right? So if Jennifer, if you start talking about transitions everywhere, what does transition mean? You know, what are the key topics? And start sprinkling that stuff everywhere. And I'm not talking about book a call with me. Never, ever try to promote in other people's groups unless you're specifically allowed to and it's a date and time you're allowed to do it, or they will knock you out of the group. Don't share videos into people's groups or they will cut you out. But make sure that you are sharing pretty posts and pretty stuff and show people in the groups that you really care about them, and that you are giving them value and that you are giving them information that works in the context of that group, and they will love you forever. And the cool thing is people start following you and people start finding you and they start engaging with you, and it builds your numbers. Platforms, building platforms. Watch my live from last night talking about ways to, make getting clients 10,000 times easier. Build a platform. This is how you build that platform. These are the steps. Seriously, connect with people. Do those things, and this is how you're going to grow your business. And it's going to give you numbers. Numbers lead to clients. That's what we do in the mastermind, is we talk about getting clients, leveraging social media to build your platform. And then once you've got that platform, as you're building that platform, turning that into dollars, turning that into clients, because it's not always exactly hey, I'm selling you stuff. Sometimes it's, hey, here's an affiliate link. Here's something you might be interested in. Here's something you might want. Sometimes it's selling ad space. Sometimes it's doing all kinds of other things to generate revenue. Revenue isn't always, hey, buy my stuff. Oh, ha. That is so cool. I just gave Beth a referral this tonight from a friend of mine. So I am so glad. That's so cool. It's a small world, right? But spread it out, spread the joy, share it, engage with other people, and they will engage back. If you're not commenting on other people's posts, they're not going to comment back with you. Spread the joy, spread your posts that are not promotional, that are pretty, that are graphical, that are doing all those things in people's groups. The more you do that, the more you're going to get coming back. And people are going to come find your Facebook page and they're going to do the things. So itty hoodles. I'm going to pull a card and I'm going to call it good tonight. I want to tell everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight. This has been a ton of fun. Thank you for the encouragement. This is my Love Your Inner Goddess cards. And it's a very small world. Oh, it's a very, very, very small world. So what card would you guys like me to pull for you? So I hope that this helps tonight. Let me know in the comments, what you think. And if there's topics you would like me to cover going forward, let me know what those are. It's important that we get you, information that you need. And check out that mastermind or talk to me about it and see if it's a good fit. The mastermind, y'all, in case you're wondering if I'm like charging a fortune because you think, oh my God, she's got this huge following and she's charging a fortune. It is not a fortune. It's $150 a month. And thank you, Ashley. Okay, so I'm going to do the top, and then I'm going to do the number 7, and then I'm going to do the middle, okay? So know that I find ways to make it very possible for people to work with me in groups or one-on-one that are super affordable and super reasonable. Okay, so here's the top. This one's for you, Patty. I think a lot of people are scared to ask me how much I charge. And my rates are like completely middle of the road. I am not the most expensive person out there, but we're better at what we do. Earth Goddess, to live the dream, we have to surrender the fantasy. This can be painful. It feels like the end when in fact it is the beginning. Once the pain passes, there is the joy of what we have yearned for coming to life. It may not be as perfect as the fantasy, but it will be real and it can nourish us. We can build our appetite for life with dreams, but we cannot be fed by them. The soul requires real life experience to become fully alive, to have experiences, and to grow. There's a fantasy that wants to become reality for you. Don't let a few gritty moments or human imperfections prevent you from experiencing the joy of heaven on earth. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, opposite end of the deck. Okay, You, Beth, got divine badass. You may feel under pressure to conform, maybe to someone else's opinions or even to your own previous plans or ideas. Don't give your power to make choices away to another, whether that is the choice of what to believe or how to behave. Don't give away your power to the past if it will take you away from what you know is true now. Even if it seems to be more difficult in the short term, trust that living what you know is true and right for you is the only way you can gain the happiness and fulfillment that you want and deserve. Okay, so Ashley, thank you for the comment about the actionable advice. I am going to pull that one for you. I don't know what that one is yet until I look for it, but it's that one. Ooh, interesting. Any other questions about social media, y'all? You can hit me up or ask me to pull another card. You are not the person you once were. You know it, but others might not always be ready to let the old you go so easily. Do not allow yourself to be shoved back into patterns of behavior that are not true to who you are now. You have worked hard to grow and become this new self. Believe that she is more real than the old you, even if she is less familiar to others, maybe even to you at this stage. All that will change, and what is new now will become familiar and easy for you to sustain in the near future. Be stubborn in a good way, whilst you and others around you come to realize that the new you is the real you. Ooh. Fascinating. Fascinating, fascinating, fascinating. Would anybody else like a card pull? So we got the top, we got the 7th. We got the one out of the middle. Very cool. Well, I hope that you guys have an amazing night. We will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys take care, stay safe. I know it's pouring rain here, so it's going to be great fun walking a dog that we have to walk in a sling. Peace out. Take care and have a great night. Bye-bye.